Alright, all you music makers, video game players, entertainers, streetlight crusaders, I guess you listeners to the madness, and alongside with you telemarketers that may call in at any minute, welcome to yet another episode of A Work in Progress. I am your host from the East Coast, DJ Smokey, alongside with the maestro over here, who's going to be answering the phone just in case any of those telemarketers do call in, like if this was a PBS pledge drive. So if you see a little ticker number on the bottom of the screen saying number of calls answered and a little dollar go up, that's the whole thing. And I keep forgetting this is radio. They can't see any of these numbers on the bottom of the screen, right? Alright, well folks, besides that, the title of the show says it all. This is a preview since we missed Wednesday's edition of A Work in Progress, a preview of what's going to happen for not only Music Village, but to clear the air of the past couple of shows that we did, like an Ionic Breeze Quadra. And why do I want to clear the air, folks? Well, apparently, when we did the Tuesday night special for the Fat Tuesday night special that led into Ash Wednesday, we got some news. The fact that Henry Winkler, aka Arthur Fonzarelli, better known as the Fonz, or any of those other classic things that he's been a part of, like Children's Hospital, Here Comes the Boom, the coach for Bobby Boucher in The Waterboy, and it turned out that he wasn't dead after all. Apparently, somebody was going online running a hoax about the death of Henry Winkler. And he's supposed to be going to a mall, I think, in either Las Vegas or something like that. I keep forgetting where the location was, but he's supposed to be signing autographs over there, still being the coolest man alive, and hopefully wearing that cool jacket and driving that motorcycle down the road like he used to in Happy Days. That was one thing that we wanted to clear up for today, and thank goodness we were able to have this show to do so. Another thing that we wanted to clear up is the fact that we told you guys that there will be a lifestyle of the digitally rich and famous for The Sims, which we're still working on it because the character that we have for The Sims is, well, let's just say too dirt poor to live in your very, very rich, expensive houses. And my God, a couple of the houses we found online for The Sims went to upwards of neither $500,000 to almost $250,000 to even well past over $1 million for people to live in. And I thought I was nuts when I used to create houses online with all those fancy and beautiful things. I didn't know how extreme some of those houses were going to be, but yeah. Very, very expensive, like the guy would say on Doug. Oh man, so we're going to definitely have to get his money amount up before we start putting those houses in the town of Adventureland to truly explore your very expensive houses like Rich Little would do during the lifestyle of the rich and famous. So it's on the way. It's on the way, long story short. And with all that stuff cleared up out of the way, folks, for Music Village this Friday, which is going to take place as of tomorrow, and we're not going to put a time on it because every single time we put a time on an episode for Music Village, it tends to be neither 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, or possibly the next day later when it comes out. You know, prime example, the beginning of March when a snowstorm hit, knocked out our power, and since I didn't have that device from the Ghostbusters where you could ride on a bike to keep the power going while doing the show at the same time, we had to wait till Saturday. Yeah, but I would love to have that in my house. You know, a elliptical bike that powers the electricity for a generator, and as long as you're going, the power gets stored up, and just in case a power outage comes along, you know, there you go. And not to mention, a great way to get exercise. Because usually I would run outside in the middle of the night, but after seeing 3 skunks and a possum and a raccoon? Nope. You know, a lot of people might call me cowardice because of that, but look at this from my perspective, folks. Would you go outside in the middle of the night if you saw a skunk crossing your path? And now I'm starting to sound like Elmer Fudd, Maestro. I mean, if you saw a skunk crossing your path in the middle of the night, and all of a sudden you excited, and then it sprays you, and then you gotta take a bath with, tomato juice, vinegar, oil, and all that stuff? Nope, not my bag, man. Not my bag. But aside from that, folks, and to get back on the task at hand, a preview for Music Village this Friday. Not only we're going to talk about 5 games that's going to make their way to the main stage for our Friday night greenlight, we also have the final pay-per-view before WrestleMania, known as Fastlane, from the Miz's hometown of Cleveland, Ohio. And let me tell you this much right now, folks, I cannot wait to review that said pay-per-view, because there's a couple of matches on there that I'm going to have a big opinion on. So this may be a 2-parter. We're not too entirely sure. Well, when WrestleMania rolls around, when it has like 15 to 16 matches, that will definitely be a 2-parter. So that's without a doubt. And along with that, folks, for the video game story for this week, it'll involve a giant bar fight with a guy with a barcode on the back of his head, and that's the only hint you're getting for that. And let's just say it happened after, 10 failed times during this said little fiasco? So yeah, it should be pretty fun. And it will feature music by Technoaxe as well for this week. And by the way, thank you once again, Technoaxe, for that opening theme, Streetwalk Manifesto, that we were actually whistling prior to this show. Yeah, it's that catchy of a tune. And I got a feeling one day I'm gonna walk down the street during the summer singing this song in my head. And it also makes me wonder, why isn't he on a microphone actually doing more of these songs that he's doing now? Yeah, just singing along with a couple of his, instrumental tracks. I would love to hear that. And the usual suspects for the end of Music Village 2, folks, which is me talking about concert information and news stories that happened from this week, and several sad news stories that are going to be talked about for Music Village for this week, and a couple of good ones. And one that we forgot about last week, about a spider dragging away a possum in the jungle. I'm not kidding, folks. That is an actual thing. And aside from all of that, folks, prior to Music Village, to help us, unwind the tension, we're listening to your independent music, and alongside with it, getting back into the world of Phantasy Star Online Blue Burst, which, for you fans out there who want to get the remaining Valentine's Day items from that said event, you have until this Sunday to do so. And I think currently I'm past that event and trying to get a giant oversized katana sword to make a Hattori Hanzo dagger-like thing that may have killed Bill in one of the movies. I mean, it doesn't look like the Hattori Hanzo from a distance, but if you look real close, it just might. I mean, there's several swords in that collection that I need to get, and one of them does look like the sword that killed Bill. But I could be wrong. I might be trailing off again here, folks. And another very exciting thing to announce for this weekend is that we will be heading to the second to last movie up to the bat for, I do believe, Resident Evil. Yeah, for Resident Evil, we're heading toward the second to last film, because we said after 4 films, we're stopping because we didn't see the one where in that makeshift VR city town place where all the actors came back to life. We didn't see that one. And the last one, the final chapter for Resident Evil, was so over the top, we said, nope, we're not going for that either. So, yeah, after this month and for the next 2 episodes of the Indie Radio Arcade, there will not be any more Resident Evil movies after that. So, count your blessings. Oh, already? Well, folks, Maestro rung the bell, which means we got a split, so yeah. For any of you who happen to miss this show, you can catch it again one more time, all the time, on our SoundCloud, Facebook, Tumblr pages, and even on our Spreaker page, all named the same, only known as Music Village Radio. And if you also want to figure out what other crazy and zany things we still got prepared for this month of madness, you can go ahead and check it out on our Google Plus/Twitter pages, only known as The 00 Agent 0012. And along with that, before we head out for today, we would like to thank you, the fans out there, for listening in to this random pre-show for Music Village edition of A Work in Progress. And along with that, if you also want to try to find this episode on any of the sites we listed, make sure you use the hashtag of A Work in Progress episode 7. Neither that or type it into the search bar and you should be able to find it. And we would also like to thank, alongside with them, you, the independent artists out there, for delivering that musical goodness like you always do. And with them, we would also like to thank the independent gamers out there for delivering those sweet, sweet games that we are going to talk about this Friday for Music Village. And I guess with everybody thanked and the clock running down for us to get out of here, I'm DJ Smokey on behalf of the Maestro saying, when there's smoke, there's fire. We'll see you this Friday, and thank you for joining us for yet another Work in Progress. Till next time, folks, see you later, and good night? Yeah, the sun's still out. Good night, everybody.
Walk down the street, saying hello to the people I meet, and I'm killing my love underneath the sun, triggering down like the smoking gun. Yeah, I ain't got no plans, just a rusty voice and an empty gas can. My car's broken down a mile behind, and I've got my life set on rewind, baby. I ain't got no plans, just a rusty voice and an empty gas can. My car's broken down a mile behind, and I've got my life set on rewind, baby. Walk down the street, saying hello to the people I meet, and I'm killing my love underneath the sun, triggering down like the smoking gun. Yeah, I ain't got no plans, just a rusty